Feedback. Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton.
And I am Thabiti Mpinga.
Inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback,
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
And take us along with you. Feedback, feedback, feedback. And take us along with you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Feedback, a program produced by Hood Research. And happy Monday to all of you. I'd like to say good morning to Vera and to Gladys and Clementine, to Ron and to Al, to Carl and to all of you out there. And I know that Miss Farmer is watching, and Sister Fedora. And this morning I have a couple of guests with me. And the first guest that I'm going to start with is James Ford. James Ford, as you may know, is the originator of the Obama Weekend. And we want to hear about that, how he got started with that, and also the current issue of people who speed through red lights like a bat out of hell. Good morning, James Ford. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for letting me be on your show, Theo.
Oh, absolutely.
God bless you.
Tell the viewers, who is James Ford?
Well, at this present time, James Ford is very concerned about the youth in the city riding in these cars in the back seats and on the side, and the elderly people crossing the street, and want to try to do something to stop this drag racing and red light running in Detroit.
Mm-hmm. But a person who is passionate about the safety for all in the city of Detroit.
Of course.
But who is James Ford?
James Ford is a unifier. He tries to be more or less a person that can see everything from a positive standpoint and try to put people together.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. You also, I've noticed that you've been concerned about the power of people being unified and voting as a block within the community for that which is for the best interest of all.
Yeah. You were talking about voting. You mentioned, yes, well, it's incumbent on everybody now to try to get everybody to vote. Each one got to bring one. And for the young people that do not want to vote and they say their vote don't count, you tell them, well, if they vote don't count, why are they trying to stop them from voting then? Maybe that will help them.
Yeah, that is a very serious issue that is going on. And it's interesting that young people don't seem to realize that that effort is very, very strong nationwide. Not only are they trying to interfere here in our community, but also in other communities, and stopping people from going out too early to vote. They don't want to have enough of the satellite locations for people to vote. Just all kinds of ways to interfere. And the Republicans do say that a lower turnout is beneficial to them. So we want to help our people to understand that if you think your vote doesn't count, you're right. If you don't vote, it can't count. But if there are two people, one votes for an apple and one votes for an orange, and your vote is needed to make the difference, you have to choose whether you want to vote for apples or whether you vote for oranges.
Exactly.
And that will cause you to change this outcome of the election at any time. That's what's important.
We need everyone.
Mm-hmm. Now, you say that we have an issue with those who disrespect traffic laws, and one traffic law in particular. Tell us about that.
Well, right now in Detroit, I don't know whether you know about this. Well, I'm sure you do, but maybe our viewers don't. There are 20,000 accidents a year in the city. There's 10,000 in Detroit, yes. And 10,000 of them happen at intersections. And there's been some studies that there are at least 2 accidents every hour in the city of Detroit.
Wow.
Our insurance rates are higher than Ann Arbor and Lansing. We're losing our tax base. And people that want to build things in the inner city, I'm not talking about downtown, they don't want to build because they know it will not blossom in a city of recklessness. And that's what we have in Detroit, a city of recklessness. Now, it is terrible.
What is it that's terrible?
It's terrible that there's a such thing called a red light, and we've all made a mistake and caught the end of a yellow light and ran a red light. We've all been, everybody can. But you got people blatantly running a red light. Now, in other words, they will see the red light that's red, say 20 seconds out, and they will blatantly run it. I saw 2 18-wheelers over on Harper and Van Dyke. They did it. I said I wasn't going to say anything because nobody would believe me since I'm pushing this move. But then I saw it again. I said I might as well mention it. And if they just don't believe me, they don't believe me. But I can't keep seeing this.
Wow.
So our situation in Detroit is terrible. I have been asked by city officials, what street is it happening on? We're going to put some cops there. And then I had to tell them very nicely, and I had to say, it's happening everywhere. It's not at one place, it's everywhere, and especially after 7, when it starts turning a little dark, that's when it's happening. And it goes all the way to midnight, all the way into the night. And 12 o'clock, it's just like being out it's terrible. The way they're running these red lights. A lot of good people in the city have been hit. Luther Keith has been hit. John Telfer has been hit. The judge, Craig Strong, has been hit. You've had 2 state senators hit. It's time
Carol Conway has been hit also.
Yes. A few members of Hood Research have been hit. Tawana has been hit. And we just go on and on and on. And I want to let the people in Detroit know this. There's a phenomenon called the imposter syndrome. And that's when you think and you've settled for the fact that you cannot do anything better and that you feel that you are not worthy of anything better. We in Detroit, and I'm talking to the city council, the police commission, the mayor, and everybody associated with city management, please don't be in that imposter syndrome where you think we can't do anything better. We do not deserve this. It's one thing that I do know, and everybody out there will agree with me. When you get ready to 10 minutes outside the Ohio line, what's the first thing you say? You better slow down. And you better get yourself together because they don't play. Well, my answer to that is this. That is great. We respect them. But when are we going to get some respect? When are we going to make people respect us and say, we're getting ready to go in Detroit? Get yourself together.
Right. I understand that. It is interesting that there's no respect for oneself, respect for others, respect for property. Because if you run through a red light and have an accident, now you've ruined your own vehicle, in addition to that of others. You know.
Well, right, and we all see what you're saying, but some of these vehicles are people's parents' vehicles. Some of these vehicles are stolen. Some are driving their girlfriend's car, their boyfriend's car, and they just don't care. This is why I'm saying this. This is why I'm trying to. We need a city ordinance because we cannot put lights in the traffic signals above because of the racial, I mean not racial, but the facial recognition of thing. We cannot do it. So I am trying and lobbying for a city ordinance. And I'm going to just tell you, if you want to hear it, what I think the city ordinance should deal with.
Sure.
First of all, you want to come through Detroit and you want to speed and all that kind of stuff, well, and you want to drive fast and you want to blatantly run that red light, well, we can't catch everybody. And we know that because we don't have the police force to do it. But the ones we do catch, remember this, city council, if you're listening, mayor, everybody else that's concerned, we can't catch everybody. But the one we catch, they're going to pay the price, and people talk in jail. One would tell 10, and that other 10 may tell 15. And it's going to take a year and a half, maybe a year or two, to get this, people understand. But you will see, if we take their license, impound their car for a while, put them in jail, take a fine. It may take a year and a half, but you'll see people putting on brakes. They won't be flying through red lights. They will be putting on brakes to stop. We need a city ordinance. As you coming in Detroit, big signs on every entrance through the city, coming in off Gratiot, Telegraph, coming in Grand River, Michigan Avenue, whatever. It says, drive slow and see our beautiful city. You drive fast, you're going to see our jails. We need some respect. We need some respect and make people respect that. And then our city will grow. Your insurance rates will drop. People will start building here. Your kids will be safe and everything. My biggest fear, and it's like this with me, I tell everybody, this is why I speak out. I love the city council. I love the police department. I love the mayor. I love everybody. But when you see me, it's one thing I want y'all to remember. I love these children out here more than I love any of you all. And that's the way it is. And I'm going to speak out because babies, innocent babies, are driving in those cars, are riding. And I don't want them to have a brain concussion, any type of hip problems, leg problems, or even possibly death. It's hard to tell one child that the other child is not coming home. It's hard to tell a child that mama or daddy is not coming home because we haven't taken a stance against this recklessness.
You know, I've often thought that driver's training, which was provided within the Detroit Public Schools, should be returned to the Detroit Public Schools. You know, after having driver's training there and going to get your permit so that you could practice with an adult, you also got a booklet with traffic rules and regulations. It seems that those don't exist anymore, or they're not handing them out, or perhaps the new potential drivers are reading them. But there's some little scandalous things going on with these fly-by-night driving in schools that pop up all over to give you your permit for driving. And they don't seem to be doing an adequate job of training potential drivers.
Well, Theo, you are 100% right. I think that the Detroit Police Department should send an undercover agent in to take some of these courses and see if they're really being trained. And that's the way it has to be. And check them out. Because when I was a school teacher, I would look up a lot of times that I did 30 years, and a teacher would pop up at the end of I'm not a teacher, but a police would jump up at the end of the class and say, this is my last day. And I say, well, why is it your last day? He said, because I'm undercover cop. And God bless you, Mr. Ford, you did a good job. So that's what we need in these driver's training schools.
They certainly. The Detroit Public School Board has a meeting every month, all 12 months. They don't get out for school at the board meetings in June like the students get out in the summertime. They have to meet year-round. They meet on the second Monday. And it is important for residents, whether you have a student in school or not, to attend a meeting every now and then to find out what's being reported, what's going on. Ask questions, but participate. Because if the school board knew that the community was watching them, that the community is concerned about how our students are learning, how our students are being taught, then we may see a better quality of education. We know that the governor has recently signed a new bill which says you must have a fiscal responsibility, how do they call it? Fiscal education. And before you get your diploma, you have to pass a test. And we know that our students need assistance with reading. We do have some people who volunteer and help with that. But now they're going to have to also be concerned about the finances. And our young people need to learn about money, learn about credit cards, learn about how they're being lured into debt is basically what's happening. So it's an opportunity for the community to also let the superintendent and the board know that we need to have the driver's training back into the school.
Exactly.
Even if they do it virtual.
Right.
You know?
Well, this is so deep that if we got the school board in on a lot of this, and also the school board needs to know about the red light running because they have buses out here. But getting back to what you were saying, the school board needs to know everything. Now, I happened to attend the school board meeting, and I was in physical education when I taught in Detroit. I noticed that the physical education director is not at the meetings, and neither the person that handles sports after school is not at those meetings, and they should be at the meetings too. So there's two people missing. The physical education director is not there, or the whole school system, or the sports director should be at the meetings. And so we don't really know who he is. I ask the school board president, whoever is in charge, you got to have that physical education director there because that is very important. We got to make sure our kids, if they're in a catastrophe, have a heart attack, this and that, we know what to do. We need some training. They might need some training at every game. The fields may need to be fixed. There may be some hazards on the field. The physical education director needs to be at all of those meetings. And parents, if you listen, ask that question at the school board meeting.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes.
Definitely a need for the whole community. Even if you no longer have children in the system or have never had children in the system, it's important for you to monitor what is going on because these are the people who are going to become your neighbors, you know, who are going to have, some are going to have businesses, maybe own a dollar store, gas station, beauty shop, barber shop. And it's important for you to be concerned about how they are taught, how they are trained, how they are showing respect for themselves and respect for the rest of the community. Very important. And if that was there in the culture, our culture.
Well, it's an old saying. What you put into something is what you get out of it. So if you put something into these children, school board listeners, members, whatever, parents, what you put into your kids is what you're going to get out of them. And that's the bottom line. There's no seconds to that statement.
Right. I need you to share with people how they can get in touch with you. And then we want to talk about the other part of your passion with the red light disrespect.
Well, I would like anybody that has a quest to join us, grandmothers, grandfathers, fathers, everybody, mothers. You can call me at 586-918-3061, 586-918-3061. And this is about trying to do something about these red lights. Now, I may pay a heck of a price by some of the things that I'm going to bring out. But if you really want to know who I am, go to YouTube and you can see James Ford. It's all about the babies. There's 2 videos on there. It's not about red lights, but it's about taking the vaccine. I speak out 3 years ago about the vaccine. I took a little heat, but I can take the heat, and I'm glad I did it. Go to YouTube, James Ford. It's all about the babies. I'm about these children. So as I said, and I'm going to reiterate what I said before, I'm going to look out for the kids. I love you all, but I'm going to look out for these children first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you have a petition or letter writing or a police commission meeting attending, or what? Tell us
this
about
is what
that.
I would like everybody to do. If you own a business or if you don't own a business, if you want to send some information where it can get to the mayor, the city council, the police commission, send it to Janice M. Waters. Send it to Janice M. Waters at gmail.com. That's Janice, just the letter M, Waters at gmail.com. If you have a letterhead, that would be great. Put it on that letterhead. I have taken 50 letters already to the city council and the mayor about this, and things are still pretty slow. But I'm going to take 50 more. If we could just get your letter and have it, it's going to help and do a lot of things, because power is in numbers. Please don't back off of this. Your life is at stake every time you drive in Detroit. All of us, I'm going to just put it blunt, all of us got some skin in the game. In other words, when I say skin in the game, your mother, your father, your children, your grandchildren, uncle, aunts are driving these streets. And you want to make sure that if laws are obeyed, they may have a chance of coming home a little safer or making it home. That's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. And just to write a letter to the council member, and what should
it doesn't have to be long. It can be two or three sentences or a paragraph,
okay.
Just saying that you have a discuss. Don't get wordy and all that, because I want them to read them all. But I want them to know the interest. Do not try to sit down and write a dissertation or a book or something like that. Please, I can take 3 sentences and just say you tired of this discuss, because this has to be focused on. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about having an NFL draft here next April. Well, get the letters in. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I got to say. Get the letters in. This is very serious. And it's not about me. It's about these children riding in the car and yourself, because a 3,000-pound fireball hitting you in the side, you won't even know what hit you, but you'll know maybe 4 or 5 months after they wake you up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm. If you survive.
If you survive.
And you were saying that 20,000
accidents. 10,000 are at intersections. And there are some intersections that are really dangerous. Mm. And I don't have the exact ones, but there are some more dangerous. But the other thing is why should you, if we stop this, why, you don't have to live like this. We can stop this. We can put an end to it. Mm-hmm. So it's about stopping this and going on. But I will say this. If we don't stop it, and I'll tell everybody that's listening to me, I don't want to be like I'm prophetic about this, but if you don't stop it, you won't be able to stop it in a year and a half or 2 years, basically because people will think this is the thing to do. Hmm. They will think it's the thing to do, and you will not be able to stop it. And I give you, go to certain parts of Jamaica. It's like that, and they cannot stop it. Mm. And I'm not talking on the beach, people on the beach and all that kind of stuff, and the sandy, all that straight. But getting in certain parts of Jamaica, there's not too many signs obeyed because they let it go too far. We cannot let this go. There will be what you might call an irreversible evil that you will not be able to stop. Evil is something that it gets too far, you won't be able to stop it because everybody is saying, well, you can do it in Detroit. So people will come out of Warren. People will come out of Livonia. People will come out of even Sterling Heights and wherever else and say, well, let's go do it in Detroit. Well, we want to reverse that. We want them to say, well, maybe you better think of somewhere else. You go in Detroit. You might not want to do that. That's where you might not want to go. And it's important that either we're going to stand up or we're not going to stand up. It's time to stand up. And it's not, a lot of people are wondering like, well, we scared to do this and we scared to do that and we scared. Well, everybody that has done something great has taken a chance. Look at the McDonald's Corporation. They took a chance. Look at some of the greatest coaches, Vince Lombardi. They weren't worried about what was going to happen to them. They worried about what they was going to be inflicting pain on other people. Some of your greatest coaches, Bobby Knight, he wasn't ever worried about what people was going to be doing to him. He was worried. He was concentrating on what we was going to be doing to them. So council members, people, and the police commissioner, mayor, and everybody else don't have this imposter syndrome that you can't do anything. You got to take a chance. You got to do something, because if you don't, as I said, this irreversible evil will haunt you for the rest of your life. You're in a position to be great. Some of the people that's on the board, the school board, not the school board, the city council, police commission, mayor's office, and everybody, they have degrees and everything. But they got to understand, if they're going to be great, they're going to have to do something great. It's time for them to make a change. In other words, you can make laws just like they did back in 1900 and 1850. They can take a chance.
Wow. Okay. Well, I certainly am glad that you were here with me this morning. And give your contact information. And do you have an email also?
Well, I have an email. I'm going to give you my phone number first. 586-918-3061. 586-918-3061. And as far as the email address, Janice M. Waters, Waters, at gmail.com. By the way, I would like to shout out with Miss Waters. She hasn't been with me now in about 6 months because she has had a little surgery on her knee, but she's usually with me at the Obama things. She is my first brain. Some people say, she's my first brain. I give a shout out to her.
All right.
Like that. But I would just want to say this. Your little letter or statement doesn't have to be long. Give me three sentences and just sign your name and send it there. If you got a letterhead, it would be, if you own a business, we're going to let people see that we're concerned.
Absolutely. And go to the police commission meeting on Thursdays as well. Just call the department. They'll give you all of those details. Yeah.
Right.
But I want to thank you so much, James Ford, for being with me this morning. And we are going to take a break now. And let's stay tuned in. Get your orange juice milk. Call somebody. Tell them to tune in as well. And we'll be back momentarily.
It's time to do something more. Join the Detroit Police Department, either straight out of high school or make a bold career change. Officers start at $40,000, plus health insurance, paid vacation, retirement plans, and more. Apply online at joindetroitblue.org.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat. Seconds. You gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn. Ta-da! It's showtime. It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome our first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallman.
Our Woody Woodland here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
chew
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the germs. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit Ombudsman. I am here to address all of your complaints and concerns. If you need assistance regarding city services, please contact my office at 313-224-6000 or contact us via email at ombudsman@detroitmi.gov. This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit Ombudsman.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinda.
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
A positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback. Us along with you. I'm from Hood Research. I hope you've stayed tuned and that you call someone to tell them to tune in as well. My next guest this morning is Leon Jones.
Good morning.
Thank you for being with me.
I'm certainly glad to be here.
Thank you. A musician. I'm understanding that you're well accomplished. You sing and play keyboard, right?
Yes, okay. I tell people as a joke, I used to be famous.
Oh, listen to you. Tell us, who is Leon Jones?
Well, Leon Jones is a product of the city of Detroit. Grew up on the east side, worked in the funeral business with the late Mr. O'Neal D. Swanson, and he taught me a great deal about life, along with other men whom I came to respect. Unfortunately, at a very young age, 17, 15 years old, I ended up in prison. Served with a 10 to 15 year sentence. But I was there, able to think and gather my thoughts and realize that I had purpose more than just ripping and running in the streets doing things wrong. And I was released on a special parole after 5 years, which I was released in 1981. And upon being incarcerated, I was able to meet a gentleman by the name of Robert Evans. We formed a group inside of the prison, and he was serving 18 to 40 for second-degree murder. His case was overturned, and we decided to continue what we were doing once we released. So we formed a group in 1986 called The Resurrection, and we traveled the country in and out of prisons with high-profile athletes and other entertainers like Michael Jordan, San Francisco 49ers. And what we would do, we would go inside the walls and do a concert and play the inmates and, of course, share a positive message with those men and women. Yes. So that's who Leon Jones is. He's had some challenges, and but by the grace of God, I've been able to pull up and not allow those things to be an excuse for me to be a victim.
Right.
But a victor.
Right. That's what we like to hear.
Yes.
Yes. Now, do you have a band that you're a trio that you play with now, or what are you doing these days?
Currently, we do a few dates, we being the Resurrection. The gentleman that I mentioned to you, Robert Evans, he passed a few years back. Then we incorporated a couple other guys, which they passed, and the three original guys, myself, Mark Walker, and Michael Brock. From time to time, we do some things, but Mark, his health is not as well, so I'm doing, as I mentioned off air, a solo project entitled Rebound. And I have a event coming up this coming Sunday, October 1st, at the Token Lounge in Westland. I'm the opening act for David Winans II. I'm certain everybody's familiar with the Winans family. So I'll be doing some things with him. And as I mentioned to you, I'm currently working on a solo project, which I put off for so many years, entitled Rebound. And I'm writing from my experiences. As I mentioned, my wife passed in 2016, so that kind of put me in a bad space for some years, really. And driving down the street, you know, the word rebound kept coming in my head. So I figured I'd call the record Rebound. What we're hearing in the background is a song called Open the Door to Your Heart that I wrote on our second project.
Open the door to your heart. I want to come in, give you a brand new start. That's why I'm waiting so patiently. Oh yeah, hoping and praying you will hear my plea.
And let me in.
And that's you singing.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Thank you. So we're gonna have more of that coming from me. I'm, you know, I don't know if you realize when you do a record, you know, it has to be intentional. You know, I learned from Marvin Gaye, Sam Cooke. My dad was a quartet singer. So as a real young fellow, he would take me around these guys, the Dixie Hummingbirds, Sam Cooke. They would all meet at this restaurant on Mack called Frank's Diner. And I was a little kid, fascinated. But they would all meet there and eat. And so I learned from them, especially Sam Cooke. He said he would write from observation, what he would see. And I think that's good for me because it connects to people.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to be deep. You just have to use simplistic hook lines, as they call it, and people remember it. You know, so that's how I try to write.
Has this song been released?
Yes, that was on our second project entitled Reality.
Oh, okay.
And what I'm doing now is putting this stuff up on Facebook. As I mentioned, you know, when I had that tragedy happen in my life, I just kind of took my hands off of everything. So I have a young lady now currently putting the stuff on social media, and so people can actually hear it, look at the videos, and buy the music online. So, so stay tuned for that. And I own my own master, so I can make money.
Now see,
Mr. Gilmore don't own my master.
Right. Now, for people who want to get into the business of producing their own projects, how did you go about doing that? You make your own finance, your own, or did you?
I think it's better not these days because of social media. You can put your music on social media, and at the click of a button, millions of people can hear it.
Okay.
Unlike the past, you had to be signed by a label. They take your music, and you've heard the horror stories.
Yes.
Entertainers from where we're sitting, they look successful, but at the end of the day, they can't
they've signed
pay their light bill.
Yeah, and they've signed contracts that
that they didn't
realize
the fine print that is.
Right.
So I learned, and a lot of people may not realize, George Clinton told me how to do that. He says, we did the Parliament, the Funkadelics. We were the same people. We just used different names. And they had 5 separate contracts. And so he got the money, owned his masters, and of course he was in a legal battle and won that for. And he says the record business is designed for the artist to lose.
Oh wow!
And so, and if you don't understand it, you get yourself tied up in a situation where you're frustrated. You're wondering why you're not making any money, and I'll just give you this tidbit to the listeners. It works like this: if the record label give you $1 million up front, they give you what we call in music points. Say, for instance, you're a new artist, they give you 10 points. So the 10 points equals 10 cents. So the 10 cents has to equal $1 million before you, as an artist, begin to make money from your record. So you see where we going. So the first record that you do, unless they throw thousands of dollars into marketing and promotion, it doesn't sell a whole lot of records. You may sell 500,000, but you're still in debt. So you sign the contract, 3 records for 2 years. You got a 5-year contract. You got to give them 3 records. So they say, let's do another record. So you're constantly in debt. So you actually make your money from live performances.
Oh, wow.
Unless you're a superstar and you selling millions of records out of the door. When I say out the door, when they drop the record the first time, they're all over the world, and that's very rare. Wow. So that's why you see so many artists frustrated, mad, and disappointed. But the record business is a very tough business. That's why they call it show business. Most people can do the show, but they don't understand the business part.
Of it.
Right.
Wow. But now with social media, if you put your song on, are you protected?
Yes, because we have what we call copyright laws. So, say, for instance, the song that you just heard, I received a check like 6 months after the record was released. Okay. They do that. You have a 25-year period with the copyright, then you renew it. Like, for instance, My Girl with the Temptations, Smokey Robinson wrote that. So that song has been covered by thousands of artists. Every 6 months, Smokey Robinson will receive a check in the mail. And there it's tracked through what we call a publishing company, ASCAP, BMI, and then they're watchdogs. Like, say, for instance, whenever my record is played, there's a watchdog that can track it and let me know how many times it's played. So when they play it on, or even if they say, for instance, a movie producer like what I'm doing and put my song in a movie, you know, I can say, well, I want to get, let's just say 150,000. He'll give me that because I own the song. And you can't do it without the permission of the owner. Yeah. So once you copyright it, it's yours, and it goes to the Library of Congress. So that's how you're protected.
Now, what about the training for people who want to get into the business? Do you recommend formal training? Because there are many people who have a natural, talent, but maybe it needs to be polished, maybe it doesn't. What do you recommend in that area?
Berry Gordy gave us the blueprint that went out of the window. And if you notice, if there are Motown artists that are living, they're still working. You know, if they're like Martha Reeves, she's big overseas. And you might say to yourself, why? Because Berry Gordy did something that no other record label would even attempt to do. He established them, taught them how to perform. And so the record labels now, what they do, they just do a record on an artist. Because they got so much technology, you don't really have to sing. Because they have what they call auto-tune. If you sing off-key through the whole song, they can tune it.
Oh, wow.
So unlike what Motown did, they trained those artists. They had to go to school on a daily basis. And so I would recommend, if they really are serious about doing what they do, make sure they polish themselves. You know, the Bible says, whatsoever thy hand find to do it with all thy might. So God is a God of excellence. And we reflect him, so we should do the same.
Try to be excellent.
Yes.
I often lift up the name of Maxine Powell.
Yes.
Because her office, well, at one time anyway, was across the street from the studio. And her responsibility was to take all of the performers and teach them how to walk.
Yes.
Have no hair out of place, no shoes unshined, and she even taught them how to get in and out of a limousine.
Right, and talk.
And they look good.
And give an interview without stumbling over your words. And I commend Mr. Gordy for the vision that he had. And he really, paved the way for a lot of artists. And, he put Detroit on the map in terms of music.
Right. And then just worldwide,
Yes. Yeah.
And just to introduce the style of music. And then we talk about the lyrics. You were mentioning that people who write and sing like to sing about what they know.
Yeah.
But I just often wonder, don't they have ideas of how they would want it to be? Because the performers, unfortunately, too many of them that we hear today, every other sentence has a 4-letter, negative word in it. And why do they always have to sing about the woman being a bitch, a whore, what have you? Wouldn't they like to see one who was respectable,
Well, as we mentioned, off air, what Berry Gordy did, that's thrown out of the window. What Berry Gordy did was polish artists, presented them to the worldwide. And what he was saying is, not that it's a race thing, but black folks can do it too. You know, because he had his artists, the Temptations and the Supremes, on Ed Sullivan, and that was unheard of. He broke down a lot of racial barriers simply because they were polished, and it was a spirit of excellence. And when you go back and look at the story, he didn't just take a record because the person did it. He had several other people sitting around that table to say, if you had 10 cents and that was if you had your $1 and that was your last dollar, would you buy this record? And people would say no, and he would go back, and he had a team of writers, Holland Dozier Holland, Ashford and Simpson. What's the other guy's name? He went out to. He's deceased now, but he did Cloud Nine, and he was on it. So in other words, Berry Gordy didn't micromanage. He allowed people to work in their expertise, and he just oversaw it. And I think that's it turned out to be excellent. And I think that's where people go wrong, because I'm a producer. That doesn't mean that I make every decision. I let an artist do what he or she is comfortable. My responsibility is to make sure that it's a complete project and that it's plausible and feasible for the general public.
And I think about the record, What's Going On.
Yes.
And that talked about what was happening at the time.
Correct.
But they knew 4-letter negative words then too.
Right.
But they didn't lace the particular song with that. They got the point across, and it was a song that made people think and made other people active, you know, to motivate you to be involved and do something that was good for yourself, for your family, for your community.
Right. And his name was, he just come back to me, Norman Whitfield.
Oh,
that was his
yeah.
name. Yes, Norman Whitfield. He did Cloud Nine. Papa was Rolling Stone. And then, you know, he went to California, of course, and then started his own label. But the What's Going On record is still relevant today. You see,
Yes,
you put that
it
record
is.
on, and even young people like, man, what is that?
Right.
You know, you had people like Gil Scott-Heron, Sly Stone, Billy Preston. And that's what I'm saying. You need the elders to pass on this kind of information. Because if you look at the artists back then, they were classy. I mean, the 20 grand, I was a young kid, and I would sneak in and see artists like the Shy-Lights, the OJs. And, I mean, everything they did was on point. From the band to their outfits to them talking and carrying themselves like professionals.
And speaking of the outfits, the fact that they were always dressed
Thank you.
so well, it made the young people in the community want to dress to the best of their ability.
Correct.
And now they look like they rolled off from under the bed.
Right.
And the young people want to look like they rolled off from under the bed to imitate. And as they say, imitation is the greatest, flattery.
Right.
But I just wonder what is happening to our culture.
What you see when in the entertainment world, it's a lot of things people don't understand. You know, the old adage, all that glitter is not gold.
Right.
And so once you get on the inside, you see that it's totally different. And I can give several examples. And if you interview those individuals off air, you will see that they regret being portrayed the way they're being portrayed, but they are under contract, meaning that they're owned by that particular label, and they dictate what and how they want to project you. I mean, look at some of the pro athletes. You know, they got tattoos everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And your show is talking about feedback, positive feedback.
Yeah.
What does that do when young kids see LeBron James with a skirt on and a purse? Guess what they do? And 2 earrings. They say, well, if LeBron is doing it, it must be in. So what my point is, a lot of us don't even realize we being programmed by watching television, about what to wear, what kind of car to drive, because we are basically surface people. There's very few people who are critical thinkers. And I know you're familiar with the late Dr. Sampson. Used to be over at Tabernacle.
Yes.
I had to introduce him once at an NAACP banquet, and he leaned over and whispered in my ear. He said, "Young man, we have a lot of little people on big stages." And then he said, "We got a lot of petty people trying to handle profound matters."
Ooh, what?
And I was blown away with that.
Yes, yes.
And I put it in my archives.
Oh, wow.
And I keep it.
Well, we want to talk about that. We're at the top of the hour, and we have to pause for the cause. And thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank
My
you.
guest this morning is Leon Jones, and we will be back with him momentarily.
This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit ombudsman. I am here to address all of your complaints and concerns. If you need assistance regarding city services, please contact my office at 313-224-6000 or contact us via email at ombudsman@detroitmi.gov. This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit ombudsman.
It's the These Nuts Show with your host, Butter and friends. Butter here, magician escape artist, practicing for my show tonight. Come on in, have a seat.
Everybody settle, Butter, you're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
In a few seconds, there gotta be enough to get out of this one. Twist a little turn, ta-da! It's showtime! It's your old friend Butter here. I may be a nut, but I know to wear my mask. Please welcome my first guest tonight, fitness guru, Wally Wallman.
Wally Woodland here to tell you to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds so you will stay healthy and strong like me.
Almond Cruz here, sliding in with the news. Distance is what we must do to stay away from the chew and other germs in the air that might be trying to get on you. Social distancing is a wonderful way to see friends. As long as you're 6 feet apart, you win.
Hey there, friends. I wouldn't miss this for the world. It's me, Pumpkin Spice, your healthy girl. Remember, it's important to use your kind hearts and follow the signs to stay healthy and safe at all times.
Chica Chiminsky here to say, don't forget the little ones that need you to lead the way. That's how we remember to wash our hands, mask, and social distance today.
Morgan Raisin. Yes, it's me, here to sing about health and safety. We are all here to help get a message out to your grapevine, teaching healthy choices to stay safe all the time.
Don't let these guys drive you nuts. Put your mask on first. They'll let you be. And it keeps me safe from the
chew
that's trying to get on me.
Butter me up. She's right, you know. Thank you, Hallie Cranberry, for joining the show. Let's all be nuts about our health. Social distancing, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and wear a mask. Practice what we learned to stay away from the chew germs. We're all in this together. Coming soon, the many adventures of these nuts in a theater near you.
It's time to do something more. Join the Detroit Police Department, either straight out of high school or make a bold career change. Officers start at $40,000, plus health insurance, paid vacation, retirement plans, and more. Apply online at joindetroitblue.org.
You're watching WHPS.
Highland Park, Detroit.
WGPR Detroit HD2.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinda,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Feedback. And we are back. This morning I have with me Leon Jones, a musical genius extraordinaire. Does that
Thank
sound
you.
good?
Yeah.
And we have another one of his songs on. Take a listen.
Entitled Grateful, featuring Miss Dawn Roberson and the late, great Mr. Robert Evans, better known as Mr. Entertainer. I'm grateful.
All right.
Yes. That bring back so many memories, just traveling, getting up early in the morning on a tour bus or the plane, and enjoying God's country. And I want to take this time to take a shout out to a very, very special individual to me, Gigi. She don't normally get up this early, but she texted me and said, and then sent me a picture that she was tuned in. So. And she's a very, very special person, and always motivating me to be better.
All right. That is good. That's very good. Happy Monday, Gigi.
Yeah.
It's a good opportunity for our entertainers in our community to use their talents to build a better culture. And many of them, I don't know if they get just caught up in thinking that all there is to it is making money, but that's not all there is to it.
Correct.
You're getting something out of it. You need to give something back, something positive, something that's lasting, And when I heard that the music awards were being given to some of the rappers that, in my opinion, don't do anything positive for this community, I was very disappointed. And when the NAACP got in on it, I said, this must be for publicity for the NAACP. Because for that organization to be in existence so many years,
right.
And then to just sink into the gutter was not acceptable or understanding as far as I was concerned. And they just do some, I don't know, just some unnecessary things which does not work to enhance the culture here, such as when they take money. Well, the local one took $50,000 for this young white boy who bought a home down on the river, and said, well, you take this and give $10,000 to 5 organizations, and then he attends the NAACP dinner and gets an award. Well,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What kind of culture enhancement is that?
Well,
Anyway.
I think to be fair to some of the entertainers that we don't hear about, but we know about them. For instance, Michael Jordan. A lot of people don't know that he would go into the prisons. Mike Singletary, even with Snoop Dogg, he invests in young people. He's a coach of a young football team. He helps them. He tries to guide them in the right direction, but he's not on center stage saying that.
And then who
I
was this
happen to-
again? Who was it?
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, okay.
And so there are a lot of people who, in the entertainment world, they just don't want their names to be broadcast because they want to do it behind the scenes. But there are a lot of them, because I hear a lot of people on Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan, he would go into the prisons with us. Mike Singletary, San Francisco 49ers. Joe Frazier's son, Marvis. He when we went to the prisons in Indiana, where Mike Tyson was incarcerated, he introduced us to Mike. And, the public gives Mike Tyson a bad image, but Mike Tyson is totally different from how the media presents him. And so, and I'm saying that to say, and you understand it, media can make you or break you.
Yes.
I've been interviewed several times, and when I look in the newspaper, I say, I didn't say that. So they'll twist your words, and then you have to come back and do damage control, or your publicist, have to try to cover you for something you really didn't say, or you're trying to explain something. And I'll give you a good example. It happened last week. The quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Now, he told the truth, but the media in Chicago and the Chicago Bear organization pulled him to the side the same day and say, go back and recant. He says, look, it's the coaches, and I'm not being coached right. Oh, they didn't like that. So he came back and says, well, I'm not blaming the coaches for anything, and, I'm going to shoulder the responsibility for drop passes and everything. Well, how are you going to shoulder the responsibility? You throwing the ball, you didn't drop it.
Drop it. Oh.
And that's my point.
Oh, yeah.
The media paints him, Mr. Fields, as a bad guy
when he was.
Simply because he's telling the truth. The coaches have me doing something that I'm not comfortable with. Allow me to be the quarterback you drafted me for. And so we say and do things that are politically correct. Me, on the other hand, I choose to go the other path, and deal with all the backlash that may come with it. And I'm saying we must tell the truth. The truth makes you free. And so a lot of times a microphone is put in front of a person's face, and you see it when they come to some of our neighborhoods. They go to the person who has a bag on their head, no teeth in their mouth, and a 40 ounce in their hand, and interview them.
Right.
And so they put that on television, and so people across Metro Detroit say, that's how black folks are, which is not true. It happens.
So true.
Tragedy, mishaps happens in all communities and with all people.
Right.
And so, and I'll give you another incident. We were in Paducah, Kentucky. Now that sticks. And so there was all people of a different nationality than me. And so they were lambasting Malcolm X. Well, he was this, he was that. And so I says, let me ask you all a question. I say, give me one incident after Malcolm X was converted to Islam that he was involved in violence. And they all turn red as beets. I say, now, ask me the same question about people who embrace Christianity and kill and hang and maim people because of the color of their skin. Well, people don't want to have those kinds of conversations.
Right.
And so I'm the type of person, I have the same energy you just had. when I turn it around on you, now you want to backpedal. And so I'm saying the media, if you don't understand how to handle it, it'll twist you and it'll paint a picture of you that's not you.
Right. Well, the trick that they're saying now is, well, we don't want to teach that because it makes our children feel bad. What? You don't want your little white children to know what really happened, what was really done, and why black people talk about reparations, why they talk about equality, why they talk about being able to apply for jobs, why they talk about here in the Michigan the Crown Act was passed, and you can wear your hair whatever way you want to wear it now and not be fired for it or punished for it in any way. And, you know, speaking about the media twisting things, there's a friend, Alex Johnson, of my family. He's deceased now, fortunately. But he was a batting champion, and he would always tell the truth. He was an excellent baseball player on the national fields all the time. And when he was interviewed, they would do the same thing. They would twist his words and lie. And the media, when he would, you know, go and try and straighten it out, telling the media would just get worse. He played same time Willie Horton was playing.
Right.
But they would lift up Willie Horton, who really didn't, you know, say a whole lot. But they would not want to give him the proper respect. And I noticed today that the coaches, I'm sorry, not the coaches, the owners of the team are now making the players do interviews. You had a choice.
Yeah, that's part.
They're doing that.
That's part of the contract. You have to be.
Now you have to, right?
Yes.
And that was not, you know, going on at the time, because Alex Johnson stopped giving interviews because they would always lie on him and twist what he was saying. And there was one player, a white guy whose name escapes me now, who was on the team with him, and he talked about what an expert Alex was in all that he did on the field, and what an expert player, you know, that he was, et cetera. But anyway, to have the change with the players now seems to be not just baseball, but other sports. At one time, the basketball players had to wear suits, even if it was casual, you know, jackets, et cetera. Now they look like crap, whatever way they want to dress.
And that's because, as we said earlier, the fashion designers are using and when I use the term use, not in a negative way, but they're using pro athletes, high profile personalities to promote their product. And I understand that. I mean, that's what we do in entertainment. They'll give you a suit, you'll wear it, somebody asks you where you get that suit from, and that sells. I understand that, but I also understand, and I was able to understand this at an early age because of the men that I had around me, to speak the truth in love. You know, Pilate says, what is truth? Meaning there had to be some other form that they considered to be truth, you know, when he was talking to Jesus. So, and today people, well, that's your truth, that's my truth. No, the truth is the truth. And so just like with Deion Sanders, you know, they're making a big fuss because he simply is confident in himself. And I'm saying to myself, I'm looking at this, Ms. Broden, I'm saying, where are they going with this? I mean, you own a guy simply because he feel good about himself, he feel good about his players, and he's confident that he's going to win. What's wrong with that? And they're saying, well, he's braggadocious, he talks too much. But the last time I checked, the Buffaloes won one game last year. Deion has come. He's brought players, and the bottom line has increased. You can't find a Buffalo T-shirt paraphernalia. And they've won 3 games already.
Yeah.
So, what is your point? And we know what it is, but I won't get into that. But the point is, when someone feels good about themselves, especially when they look like you and I, it's a problem. And I'm just one to say, that's your problem. I feel good about myself because of who I am and who I know I am, based on somebody bigger than me. The Creator says that I'm made in His image. That means that I can reflect Him if I choose. And I choose to be positive. I choose to be helpful as I have the opportunity, and I choose to tell you the truth because that's my responsibility.
All right. Leon Jones. Woo! Yeah. Entertainer extraordinaire. All right. If the viewers are interested in purchasing you said you have 3 projects of your own? Is it 3?
Matter of fact, we have 5.
5 of you?
Yes.
Okay.
And it'll be up on Spotify, all these media outlets shortly. The lady over at the Disc Studios, she's working on. You'll be able to see the video clips and all these things, and hear all of our music online and media, all social media platforms. And if you are interested in seeing me live, this coming Sunday, October the 1st, I'll be at the Token Lounge on Joy Road in Westland at 4:30. Doors open at 4:30. The show begins at 5:30. I'm the opening act for David Winans II. And tickets are only $15. Come on out and have some fun, and then watch the football games. Along with us. Go Lions. They won yesterday. And everybody is excited. And I'm just excited about what I feel that is happening in my life. I've had some ups and downs, and I've had some adversity like others. But adversity makes you strong if you can get through it. It makes you a better man or woman, and you realize that nothing can stop you but you.
Right.
And my mother-in-law used to say, "Here comes a Negro that's in love with himself," and that's what the Bible says. It says, "Love others as you what." Love yourself.
Oh, goodness.
See, I can't love nobody else if I ain't learned to love me.
That's right.
And so I'm in love with me.
Best thing to be.
Yeah.
Start with you.
Thank you.
And again, this coming Sunday, doors open at 4 o'clock.
4:30.
4:30. Okay.
And it's at the Token Lounge.
Token Lounge
on Joy Road in Westland.
Westland. So
28949 or 28947 Westland Token. You can Google it, you'll find it. Token Lounge. Come on out and have a good time.
Oh, okay. And $15.
Yeah.
It sounds like a wonderful way to spend the afternoon.
Oh yeah.
The football game comes on after, you say?
No, the football games comes on at 1, and then
beforehand.
Another one comes on at 4, and then another one comes on at 8 o'clock. That's Sunday night football. So it's football all day.
All day, yeah. Okay. All right. The Token Lounge on Joy Road in Westland, Michigan. And 28947?
28947.
28947. Okay, 28947.
Yes, Joy Road.
Okay, Joy Road in Westland, Michigan.
Token
Lounge.
Lounge.
Oh, wow. Now, you open for David Winans.
Yes.
Okay.
He's a guitarist, musician. All the Winans are very, very talented. So he's consented to allow me to open up for him and do some other shows around the country with him. So I'm honored, and this is a way to help me merge back into what I was born to do. So there's some things that in your life you don't need no motivation. Once you get up, it's on your mind. Sometimes I tried to get away from it, but it wouldn't leave me alone. So I've resolved that this is the platform the Creator has given me to share with people who and what He is about, or she, if you want to refer to your Creator as a she. And so I'm taking advantage of this platform, because think about it. This television show, it reaches millions of people.
Right.
When I stand up and sing, there's power. That stage is powerful. If you say something, people move with you. So I don't want to abuse that opportunity, but I want to, as you've often said, to use it as a positive platform for people. So that's what I've resolved, and I've come to the realization that this is what I'm supposed to do. Because think about it, I tried to hide behind the group as just a background singer, and I used my wife as an excuse. But now both of my boys are grown, my wife is deceased, and the Creator saying, Leon, it's you and me. Let's do what I asked you to do while you still got some strength, some energy, and your mind is sharp. So I'm doing that, and I thank God for the opportunity and the people that He surround me with. So I'm grateful.
Right. Now, does David Winans do gospel music or secular music?
He does secular music.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what I'll be doing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a couple of my original songs, because I open up for him. And then I like to have fun with the audience. I call, people up, to do the ballroom or the hustle on one of the songs that I know they will. Just have a little interaction with them.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah. This coming Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
October the 1st. Good Lord.
Man, this year has gone.
Yeah. I'm just thinking it's October the 1st.
Yeah.
Seems like we didn't get through September, and it's already October the 1st.
And I want to thank Miss Gaines. I happened to meet her. I was at Martha Reed's birthday celebration at Burt's, and someone introduced me to her. And she'll move in a shaker.
Oh, yes.
She says, look, send me your music, and I'll do this and I'll do that. And I just said, thank God I'm in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. And Bert Deering is a man who gives back to the community.
Certainly does.
And he mentors young men as well.
I'm one of them.
Quite a number of them.
He's been knowing me since he had a store on Gratiot and Iroquois.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and he had the Black Horse Saloon.
Which was formerly the White Horse Saloon.
Yeah, okay.
That was interesting when they bought it.
Yeah.
One of the first things they did was change
the name. Yeah.
Wow, but he mentors young men and doesn't ask for any kind of publicity for that.
That's what I love about him.
And he's been doing that for years.
Yes.
Yes. And he deserves the support of this community always.
Oh yeah, they every time I go down there, they're packed. And what's strange is the audience don't look like me and you. Most of the
listen,
and I'm not mad at him, but they just come and have a good time.
That's right. That's right. Bring your money and support.
Oh yeah.
I like to go on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Because Thursdays is when they have the
open
jazz.
mic, and the jazz.
Well, yeah, but they had a jazz trio there, right? And there was this white lady. I don't really know. I don't ever think I knew her name, but she does tours.
Yeah.
And she goes to, I guess, Birmingham, Bloomfield, and gets the little housewives and brings them on this tour bus to Detroit.
Yeah.
And shows them the areas where the gangs, was it Purple Gang and whomever the others were here in Detroit, and where they had their little getaway clubs and et cetera. And then after the tour, she would bring them over to Burt's. This was on Thursday evenings.
Yeah.
And they'd be there about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then they'd go over back to Birmingham, Bloomfield, and wherever they live. But this was a regular, and of course, when the pandemic came along, it because a lot of things were shut down. I don't know how she's doing today, but people are little by little trying to get back out into the community and things that they used to do. But anyway, Leon Jones, we are at the end of the program today, and I want to thank you so much for joining me, and once again let people know that on October the 1st, Sunday afternoon at 4:30, the doors open
at the Token Lounge in Westland on Joy Road, and bring a friend and come and have a great time. And I want to thank you for affording me this opportunity, and I've enjoyed it.
Thank you for being here. And like I say at the end of my shows, it's not necessary for you to know everything. What is necessary is for you to know how to find what you need when you need it. And we at Hood Research seek out as much information as we can to share with you. We also support all of the businesses that we can within our community and encourage you and others to support them as well. The phone number for Hood Research is area code 248-234-2371. Again, that's area code 248-234-2371. Our email is contact@hoodresearch.org. That's CONTACT, the little @ symbol, the A with a circle around it, HOODRESEARCH.org. Contact@hoodresearch.org. We have a Facebook, website, and we ask you to follow us on Twitter, which is now known as X. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and peace.
Feedback.
Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinga,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you.
Feedback.